Well, as many of you know, Carlee Russell was arrested, processed, right, yesterday. She got two $1,000 bonds for two misdemeanor charges because that's all they got on the books there in Hoover. So they really don't have a lot to come after her with unless they can dive deeper into this case, which it sounds like they are trying to do. She also, I think, got a $6,000 fine. But from everything that's been reported over the last few weeks, it sounds very much like she comes from a wealthy family and that she may, in fact, have a history of making shit up. One of the channels showed some video from 2 years ago where she was supposedly making a video for admissions into like a college program or something like that, in which she said that her mentors were her grandparents. And it's clear that she's got other family or friends or something around the room who are watching this take place as it's going down. She calls her grandfather a former drug dealer who then started taking drugs and had to go to rehab. And she says that her grandmother ended up prostituting herself so that they could raise money for the family. In the process of this video, you can hear the rest of the family members laughing their fucking heads off because it's completely untrue. And even the grandparents couldn't hold their composure while she was saying this. And she is insistent that this is true, this did happen to you, I was told this by my cousin, and the rest of the room is laughing their asses off at her. So anyway, this completely delusional, pampered princess who thinks that she can make up any goddamn story and get away with it may just be on the verge of getting away with it again, except that it sounds like the police are not done with their investigation. And they want to know who helped her because we don't know what happened during the 49 hours. So anyway, here's some local reporting on this story.
And we come out and voila. The very first picture of Carlee Russell since she admitted to deceiving law enforcement by making up the story that she saw a toddler on the side of I-459 and then followed by vanishing for 49 hours as well. This is the first picture that we are seeing of her. After turning her...
This is like glamour shots right here. This is her mugshot photo, you guys. This is her mugshot photo. And there she is looking like she's posing for her senior high school photo for the yearbook.
In on 2 misdemeanor charges. She is out on bail.
Right.
And again, questions persist. In the end, it's really up to you if the questions are how relevant they are at this stage. It's up to each one of you to determine for yourselves why she did it. Does it matter to you? Some people are going to say, I don't care. And you can't fault anyone for feeling that way. Some people are going to say, I don't.
Well, I think she's killed any sort of idea that this could have caused her any mental distress because she just spent a week celebrating her birthday with her entire family, friends, everybody coming over to the house for a big birthday party, and she kept celebrating for a week, apparently. Allegedly. That's what's being reported right now.
I don't care about why she did it, and we need to be talking about other missing persons cases.
Yeah.
There are gonna be people that are gonna feel that way. There are gonna be people who are gonna say, I don't care where she was for 49 hours. Woods, in a closet, of a gas station somewhere or something like that, wherever she was. Now, it could be a completely different ballgame if she was, if she was staying with somebody, but
yeah, well,
because then you're talking about additional criminal implications.
That's more than likely what, in my opinion, what happened here, because this chick did not sleep in the woods. That did not happen. She did not have enough scrapes and cuts on her body to indicate that she was in the woods the whole time. She only had a busted lip, so she probably tripped once. She probably tripped once, right? But also she has lost her argument that she potentially is not financially secure enough to make restitution here, because the family has now hired a private security guard to shadow her because she's getting harassed so severely. Well, Carlee, I mean, your actions have consequences.
But here's her mugshot. She has been formally charged, and now the legal process will play out in Alabama. But as the legal process plays out, we'll find out, I'm sure, whether or not she's going to face, jail time, whether a deal will be reached, and whether or not she'll plead guilty or not guilty. All of that, that is standard at this stage with this kind of a story. What isn't standard, what is perhaps that much more interesting and should be interesting to you, our audience, is again the potential for Alabama law to be changed because of Carlee Russell.
Right.
To ensure that this never happens in the future, or that if it does happen in the future.
Exactly. So basically, making a false report is a misdemeanor charge at this point. And so now the conversation is, well, what if it's a very serious allegation, right? So making a misdemeanor report of a false allegation is probably like a Karen scenario of, I thought he was coming after me, right? But what she did was so incredibly over the top, staged bullshit of insinuating that there was a human trafficking situation happening here, that she was abducted by use of a toddler as bait, exceeds what a normal, false report would be. Which, by the way, they very infrequently come after false reports, because it can usually be summed up to perception of the events and be considered a miscommunication. So that's not something that usually gets pursued. But if it's something on such a grand scale that you've got municipal, state, FBI, and the Secret Service, as well as volunteer efforts and a GoFundMe set up for you, that's not exactly comparable, right?
Sure. That law enforcement agencies feel, and district attorneys' offices feel, that they have a better avenue to appropriately charge the person with the crime that they are accused of committing.
Look at that picture. She's not just smiling at you, she's laughing at you. She thinks this is a fucking joke and she's gonna get away with it.
Yeah, lots of... I think the number one comment that I have seen on this stream is holy expletive, she's smiling. I'm part of my job as an interactive journalist is to be a reflection of you in our comment section, what you're actually saying out there. I'm telling you, looking at your comments here in the Stream Center, and all I'm seeing is OM letter G.
Mm-hmm.
She's smiling. But again, we've had mugshots in the past where smiling is just the natural reaction when somebody poses for a photograph. Now, in this case, it's a mugshot. But the people are also making notes about her hair.
No, I mean, like, I would imagine, I've never experienced having a mugshot myself, obviously. But I can't imagine it being any better than going to the DMV and getting like a 2-second warning that they're about to snap the photo. So how did she have time to pose perfectly for this bullshit?
And that's up for you. You guys will. You don't need me adding in to the social media chatter about her appearance here. There's going to be enough of that on social media. But again, this is the first picture that we've had of her since this all happened. And yes, she's smiling. And that will. And look, I can ask everybody if you'd like what that means to you. That she's smiling in her mugshot. We're going to probably do another 10 minutes tops, maybe 15-ish on stream.
Wow.
We're about to wrap this up in a little bit, but hold on, you guys. Look, I still have a job to do, and my bosses are expecting me to put this out on Facebook too. So everyone just kind of type in your comments. We're going to read your comments here in a second, but in the meantime, I just would like to put this out on Facebook. People there.
Well, from what the attorney said, who apparently is a family friend of theirs who's representing her right now, he indicated that he may be doing this work pro bono, and that apparently he has a history of running for mayor twice. So if he intends to run again, I'm just speculating, this would be free publicity for him, that he was able to get a high profile case, like the lowest possible sentence, and so on and so forth, right? I think he himself should be looking at this case right now and realizing that his client is continuously fucking herself and her family over by doing shit like this. And that it's not a good look for him to try and save this absolutely pompous, privileged bitch who fucked everybody over. This is amazing. There was an organization from somebody who actually lost a child who came in to search for her. This is amazing.
So let's put this image in a Facebook post. And yes, people on YouTube, I know what you're thinking. And yes, people still do use Facebook. Facebook is still a thing for a lot of people. It is the platform of choice for many. All right, so now that Facebook post is done, we're going to leave this up on screen. And again, call for your hashtag KJB questions or comments. One more time, if you're just joining us, if you use hashtag KJB, we can animate your comments on screen. If you don't want your comment to be spotlighted for our relatively large audience here today, you just don't feel comfortable with it, just don't use the hashtag and we'll let your comment continue to scroll on by. I still read your comments without the hashtag, without HJB, but I don't click on them because I don't want to spotlight your comment if you don't want it to be spotlighted. So let's look. Yeah, some of these comments are just, I can't put these on screen.
Right.
But look, CL LeBron says, "Hey JB, shake my head, no remorse." That's the opinion of one of our commenters. And remember, hold on, I'm seeing your comments now. Let me make this clear. All right. This isn't about somebody who, we don't know if Carlee Russell intended to seek fame or her name or her image being out there. We don't know what her intent was. This isn't about spreading someone's...
Well, she certainly isn't shying away from it.
picture because of, reasons that this is about accountability. Okay. This might not look like your standard mugshot. Sometimes mugshots will have a different background, or you'll clearly see what CL LeBron noted there as remorse. Sometimes you'll see this might look like a standard sort of photo. Might actually look more like a high school class photo than a mugshot. It's still a mugshot. This is part of the process as far as a person being held accountable. You are a warrant is obtained for your arrest. You are arrested. You face charges. You are booked and processed, and part of that process is having your mugshot taken, and that mugshot then becomes public record, and we are sharing that here on our live stream. It's about accountability, and I want to make that clear as we're here on stream for another few minutes.
Wow.
Look, Tina on YouTube Live, CL LeBron's on Facebook Live, Tina on YouTube Live. People are saying the same thing regardless of platform. People are saying no remorse. That's one of the top comments I am seeing. 2 misdemeanors, Maureen. I don't have the exact, was writing as quickly as I could, but it's in relation to false reporting of an incident to police. So, Ms. Smith, hey, JB, are you going to cover Alicia Watts? Yeah, missing since July 16th. I hope to cover more missing persons cases. But a lot of that, how do I say this? A lot of that, everyone thinks that I have just this free reign to do any stories that I want to do or to stream for as long as I want to do. There's a lot of moving parts at a news organization, okay? And so I would love to cover more missing persons cases, regardless of background, regardless of gender, the ones that really need our help out there. But that a lot of times the decision comes down to more than just what I want to do. That's a news organization has a lot of moving parts. Mm-hmm. and a lot of news to cover. And so if you want me to focus on something, you have to have your voice heard. And what I do is I point you in the right direction. So if you want your voice to be heard, you send it to the news power.
No, that's not how news works, asshole. You yourself are supposed to be digging up these stories, not just responding to your comments section. You're supposed to be the one actually investigating the stories and determining whether or not they get highlighted. That's some bullshit if you're trying to put it on your audience.
That be, so to speak, by sending it to news@wfla.com. Moderators, help me out. If you're on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, you want a story to get covered, and you want me to cover it specifically, or if you want it to be covered on WFLA Now, you just send it to news@wfla.com. And if you're trying to get a hold of me directly, you can send it to HeyJB, an email to heyjb@wfla.com. Another 5 or 10 minutes before we got to wrap up here, folks.
Okay, let's go.
Mindy on YouTube Live says, I feel like she is not taking this as serious as it is. That's the opinion of one of our commenters. Amanda, #HeyJB, any word from the family? Not really, not since really, I think Priscilla Thompson with NBC News did that last interview. We haven't seen much since. Other comments, questions? Let's see here. Amy, I'm just gonna put this up because it got me to chuckle. But I understand where your head's at with this comment. Amy Parker says, "Hey JB, you do an amazing job. I love all your coverage, but honestly, I cannot wait to not hear about this girl again." Yeah. A lot of people are going to agree with you, Amy. because there's so many other cases that require our attention. Linda on Facebook Live saying, "Hey JB, she loves the attention." People are seeing this as a crime where somebody was seeking attention. This is just, again, your reaction, again, the public social media reaction that you're providing to us here on stream. Shanikia Young, hashtag HJB, can her charges be upgraded? Wow. It sounds as if the DA's office, Shanikia, they put a lot of thought into the charges based on what we heard at the press conference, because they explored a lot of different options here. And it sounds as if this is if new information comes to light, I'm sure that charges can be added or upgraded. Things can be modified. The legal process will be likely quite fluid. But, and look, more information is still to be learned in this investigation. But it sounds as if this was the most efficient and the most serious charges that could have been filed in regards to what Carlee did, based on what we're getting from that press conference in Alabama. Jade's.
Well, the thing is that once you get her in for the misdemeanor charges, which may in fact result in some sort of jail time, I think they said 1 year, then while she's, pending trial and stuff, you now have the warrants and everything else in place. I'm assuming, I'm making some speculation here, to surveil her. And this is more than likely why her family hired a personal security guard for her, right? To try and head off any surveillance that might be happening. I don't think that the security guard is actually for her personal protection. Just my 2 cents, just my opinion. I think that the personal security guard is to be looking for the potential of police surveillance. This will be interesting, you guys.
Says she looks happy? Do people think that she looks happy? Not for me to answer. Jade is asking, kind of with a hesitation there. She looks happy? I gave my opinion earlier for what it's worth, and I'm not going to say whether or not she looks happy, but it is a mugshot that doesn't look like many mugshots that we see. I'm getting more high school, class photos,
right,
than mugshot, really, to tell you the truth. We don't see there's usually a height indicator sometimes with certain law enforcement agencies or certain jails. You'll have something that indicates height lines, and it'll say, oh, okay, so this person is, 5'6". Okay. And also too, let me just point this out. Mugshots are often awful as far as quality goes. This is a really high quality mugshot. Mm-hmm. Some cameras in various jails across the United States, they're like 15 years old. And they are just really low res or low quality, or they're like 200 by 400 pixels. They're just awful.
Hang on. Just to his point, this is the Nick Nolte infamous mugshot. Make sure you can see it up here. This is the Nick Nolte infamous mugshot. This is generally how they go.
Jefferson County's got a good camera as far as mugshots go. This is as high res of a mugshot as I've seen in a very long time. Maybe that's why I'm getting high school class photo vibes from this picture.
This is insulting.
Jessica, still no word about where she was all that time? Nope. Still no word. as to what happened to Carlee Russell and where she went. Robin James, do you think she'll ever speak publicly? We talked about this on the last stream, but
Oh, she's going to be so tempted to make the circuit if all she gets is fucking misdemeanors. Are you kidding me?
I can't. I can't really answer this question. Only she knows, and only her family knows. One question that is, I think, really fair to ask, that has come up on previous live streams that we've done on this story. People asking is, are they going to stay in Alabama? The family. Your reputations can really stay with you, and so people have been wondering if the Russell family will look for a fresh start. We don't have any information on that, by the way. That is just people out there on social media wondering to escape.
They literally don't seem to have any problem with what happened here, and they feel like they can bring in all the resources they need to protect her. They can have a birthday party for a week long. Why would anybody assume at this point that they feel like they need to relocate? They are perfectly comfortable in their wealth and position and situation that they can get away with this.
What has transpired? Are people going to? Will the family move? Not sure.
I don't think so.
2 or 3 more, and then we got to run.
Wow.
A lot of comments about her hair.
She got a new wig.
Marvita, as far as updating of the law in Alabama, they would never do that. As far as renaming the law after her, you rename a law to honor somebody. It's not about something that went wrong. It's about remembering someone, and an Amber Alert. Yeah, these are. They would never rename it. In fact, you would be hard-pressed to find, if there was a bill introduced in the Alabama state legislature, you'd be hard-pressed to find her name in there, because it would be part of the record for forever. And it's not about identifying by somebody by name. It's just about updating the law so it never happens again. So I don't think that a law would ever be named after her, even if it was called, the hoax law. It's just not something you ever really see. Cheryl, with one word, really. Cheryl says it's a smug shot. That's one of our commenters' opinions. I don't see any people who have anything. When I tell you that these comments, by the way, like this one, these are the nice comments that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I bet.
There are other comments in our comment section that are, no, I would never put up on stream, to tell you the truth. Yeah. And again, Miss D, appalled, flabbergasted with a smile, no remorse. Folks, that's going to do it for us here at WFLA Now. The Carlee Russell story.
I think, also, I was watching a panel yesterday where it was a lot of the Black community leaders or commentators in that particular area who do activism in this regard, and they wanted to really highlight the fact that Black women don't get enough attention in the media when they go missing, which is absolutely true. But then they also were trying to act out like she is being treated more harshly than, say, white women. Well, I would direct you to the case of Sherry Papino, who she acted out even a more severe scenario. She got 18 months in jail, prison, right? So I think that if you're going to try and make that an argument, you should be more well researched before you actually bring your panel together, because the biggest issue with what Carlee Russell did right here was make it so that volunteers would not want to participate in a search, because you no longer trust whether or not the person is telling you the truth. And in Carlee's case, you can't compare her to the majority of Black woman demographics, because she came from wealth and privilege, and you can't leave that out of the conversation.
Reaching the part now where we'll, of course, monitor the future developments. But like I said earlier in the week, we're kind of approaching the live streaming end of this story, if you will. There's other stories, of course, more deserving of our attention. And the reason that we streamed this one here today is because of accountability. Very simply because when somebody admits to an action that can qualify as breaking the law, how does our legal system here in the United States do its own self-correction and making that person, be held responsible, held accountable for their actions?
Right.
It's about cause and effect. The cause here is that Carlee Russell made up a story and lied to investigators and deceived her community. And according to the investigators and the DA's office, she broke the law.
Yeah. And
charges have been filed. She has been arrested after turning herself in. And so it's about cause, and that's the effect. She is now has to answer to these charges. And we'll pay close attention, of course, to how this all plays out in the future. I don't know if we will ever stream on this story again.
Yeah, well.
But that's where you come in. We pay very close attention to what stories you think are deserving of what we do here in the Stream Center as far as interactive journalism. What stories do you think we should be focusing on? Your feedback, this is what we do in the Stream Center as far as interactive journalism, is a very forward-thinking thing that we do here at WFLA. And it only works if we get feedback from you, our audience. What stories would you like to see? If you have a story suggestion, or if you have feedback that you want to go sort of the newsrooms that way, and all the news managers that really operate our station, they're all located in that direction. If you want to reach them and make your voice heard in that capacity, send an email to news@wfla.com. If you'd like to reach me directly, I check my emails all the time. I do my very best to, at least, over the course of a very busy news day. You can send emails to me directly at heyjb@wfla.com. So again, one more time, if you want to send it to the news station, news@wfla.com. If you want to send it to me, heyjb@wfla.com. There's more on this story on wfla.com pertaining to all the money that was raised, the goodwill money that was put forth. You can click on the link in the description on this video to find out more about what's going to happen with that money, the latest that we have on that component to the story. Again, it's in the pinned comment below, as well as in the description on this video. And a big thank you to our YouTube moderators for helping keep our comment section kind, respectful, welcoming to all. We'll continue, of course, to report on missing persons cases in the future and do our very best here to use interactive journalism for good. Thanks so much for joining us here on WFLA Now. I'm JB Buno. We'll see you next time here from the Stream Center. And again, happy Friday, folks.
All right. There you have it.